Hi, everybody. We are here just before it's 11 o'clock here and coming on late again because we have really big news. 1,022 days, 1,022 days since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. And we, we just want to say thank you to everybody. We have just hit the big leagues. And it's because of thanks to the people, thanks to God, praise God. His hand has been all over this case. It's we can't even believe when we look back at everything that we've been through, especially trying to keep our son's name alive and out there, public during the horrific time of my father's illness and death. We just we just can't. We're just very grateful to God for that strength, um, and Him helping us out, and of course to all of you for your continued support and just sharing, writing all those letters, signing the petition. I mean, we've been through so much. When you look back, this has been Team Find Richard Halliday, right? Team Find Richard Halliday, with God's hand all over this. And we're just very, very grateful. And we have some very good news today. We've hit the big leagues. What does that mean? Well, we have now confirmation that the federal judiciary is looking into the allegations that we have been making. That's not all, y'all. We have the Civil Rights Division now absolutely knowing and asking for information from us. They they know what has happened. They know Richard Halliday's name. Richard Halliday, the whistleblower. Richard Halliday, not just missing, but murdered. Not just missing, but murdered. And retaliated against. A whistleblower that was betrayed. A whistleblower not by one victim advocate. We're getting that it was two victims advocate. I wonder if there's a third victims advocate here. But so we are just uncovering. And why? Because we were made the chief investigators of our son's case. And I don't know why they did that. Bring us leads, bring us leads. And we're like, what do you mean? Um, so this is going to come back to El Paso. This is going to come back to Fort Bliss. This is going to come back to Special Agent in charge Soto at the time. This is going to come back to Lieutenant General. At that time, it was Major General, but he got a star for this. Sean Bernabe. This is going to come back to General McConville. This is going to come back to General um, Garrett. This is going to come back to the Secretary of the Army. This is going to come back to the Secretary of Defense. This is going to, you understand, we are in the big leagues now. They know Richard's name. They know that he was a whistleblower. You see, it took us, I need to get the timeline out there and say, when exactly did we know that Richard was a whistleblower? When he made those CPS complaints. When we found out that he made those CPS complaints. And look, my video is not working. Let's see if I can get it working. Can you hear me? See if I can get my video working. How's that? How's that? Just does not want to work, does it?
Can you hear me now? Okay, let me get on here. Let me put the video on. I'm not going to touch it, y'all. Okay, so um, I'm just not going to touch it because this is such a big day. This is such a big day, and I hope that everyone can hear us because it is just so important. I'm checking right now to make sure if people can give me a thumbs up because I want to tell you why this is such a big day. Can you even see me? Yes. Okay, here we go. All right, let's start over. Day 1022, and we are in the big leagues now. 1022 days it has taken since Richard went missing for our voice to be heard, and it's been heard today. And what do I mean by this? That we have gotten confirmation now that a federal judiciary, I wrote it down here, is looking into the allegations that we have been reporting of the investigation that we have uncovered inch by inch, crumb by crumb. We have done this. And Rob and I just want to say thank you so much to everybody. Thank you so much for your support, staying with us. Of course, we want to give God all the glory and all of this because He has sustained us. He's made us, without seeing, without knowing, just to have faith to continue and to continue and to know that He would bring it all together. And He's been very faithful. Now, what am I saying here? I'm saying that finally our voice is being heard. That we're in the big leagues. And even not just that we've gotten confirmation from a federal judiciary looking into the allegations that we have been making. These allegations is the FBI hiding the remains of our son, right? So says Nadal Bayame, the father-in-law of Lieutenant Colonel Bugado in the G3 of the 32nd ANCOM, which is Richard's command. And he says, shh, it's a secret. Why is it a secret? Why would that be a secret? And so our voice has been heard. All of our hard work going to El Paso, our continuous search for Richard there with our rallies, with going over into Mexico over and over and over again, listening to people that want to help, that were assigned to us. It didn't matter. It did not matter because with all of that, we knew that we would absolutely, let me see if I get this right. Oh, I need to put it on this.
Okay. I think that's better now. Okay, so I think that's better. Um, that we would absolutely, inch by inch, figure things out. And the laws of our country are not that easy because they've departed from those 10 commandments, right? Those two commandments. Thank you, God, right? Uh, you know, with a medium sized book, the Bible, you can understand your rights. You could understand what the laws are. You could understand what is expected, what are your obligations very clearly. And that's why it's the book of freedom, right? Because it's not buildings upon buildings upon buildings of documents and, obscure rules, regulations, laws, or complicated ones, or, that that are just out of reach for us to maneuver through. No, we just had faith that God, in his simpleness, as far as for the simple person to understand that if we just have faith and we move forward, God will provide for understanding of man's complicated government system that enslaves us, that takes away our rights, that protects the Jack the Rippers instead of protecting the whistleblower, protecting the children, protecting the raped children, protecting our volunteer sons and daughters that want to serve our country, want to give time up in their life to put their lives at risk for our freedoms, for our rights, for our Constitution, which they are led to believe by these recruiters, but they have hijacked. I will tell you, foreign and domestic enemies have hijacked our institutions, our agencies, and now they are just there to protect themselves. They use their power to protect themselves, their business plans, their wealth, their rights, while taking away others and not respecting others and also harming others. And so it's become very, very clear that that has happened in Richard's case, being a whistleblower, because they say, see something, say something. He saw something, he said something, and now they what did they do? They exposed him illegally. They didn't, you know, we're getting that he had two victims advocates. Uh, was that two betrayals? Because we know Tavita Nusa betrayed him. There's something going on. Something going on. Okay, so we know that absolutely he was betrayed by Tavita Nusa and essentially put a target on his back. He was retaliated against severely in January for the CPS complaints, right? The Child Protective Service complaints. And then in June, he put in the CID complaints, and he was um, then exposed and a target on his back. That escalated. It all just escalated into, we believe, his murder. And at 1,022 days, finally, our charts, our timelines, our records, our screenshots, our collection of 1,000 proofs and more, I mean, it's thousands of proofs and more, are being heard. And from a federal judiciary, and also from the Civil Rights Division. From the Civil Rights Division, because absolutely Richard's civil rights were violated, and absolutely our civil rights Team Find Richard Halliday has been violated. And so I want to keep this very positive tonight because I've been so late and so um, sad news all the time about our 44 four-star generals and admirals, about the emergency intake center, about the border there, about Vanity Fair, Veronica Escobar that can't take time out to look away from her mirror. And, she's too busy covering up. And she played a part in this, an up to no good part in this that you're going to discover soon enough. And this is not only have we been made the chief investigators of our son's case, but we have been made investigators of the very agencies, the very institutions that were supposed to be helping us, that was supposed to be obligated to care for Richard, that was supposed to be, where's the media in all of this? Where's the media? They should be all over this case. And I think that they will be. I think that they will be now. But we don't know because somebody is pulling the chains and has a lot to lose at the border there in El Paso, has a lot to lose with their illegal business plans that include Fort Bliss, that include El Paso, that include the border, that include going down into uh, Casa Grandes, Nova Casa Grandes, Colonial Juarez, going into that kilometer 29 area in Juarez. Those are all connected. And, you're going to, you've probably, if you've been listening long enough, you understand how they're all connected. And you had to have authority to go through that border easily back and forth. And we have been uncovering that. And so I just think you need to know now that we've hit the big league and all of this now is going to be either denied or verified, which is a huge, because we're confident of so much that we have uncovered is going to be verified and more. I think it's going to be shocking what will come out of this that we have not stated because we didn't know for sure. And what we can confirm to you is that Richard was a whistleblower, that Richard was betrayed by CID special agent and another victim's advocate, that Richard file was leaked to Leilani Hart, that Leilani Hart put in a CID, an FBI complaint stating that in her family, a 7-year-old was getting raped in her house by multiple members of her family, that her adult sons, one being First Lieutenant Dallas Hart, was engaged in an incestuous relationship, and that there was pornography, long periods of time, child pornography in their home, and that she was interested in Richard's file. Why? When Richard turned in child pornography, when Richard went to the Child Protective Services, and then when he had a moment because they retaliated so quickly, so continuously, so severely with him that it took until June for him to go to the CID to beg for help, and not knowing that there was conflicts of interest, that Tavita Nusa was in a very intimate relationship with Leilani Hart, the Hart family. And we maintain that First Lieutenant Dallas Hart was in 143. Okay, we maintain that. So this is, and Richard's unit. Um, so this conflict of interest was not just one, but then two. We know for sure there was another conflict of interest. That first sergeant, Richard's first sergeant, Jay Pollan, was very good friends with CID Special Agent Ron Steeg. And they were all involved in Richard's investigation. Richard's multiple investigations, because you have to remember CPS, the IG were all over the barracks because of Halliday, then going to the CID, then his disappearance, right? So this is, he has multiple investigations, and so this conflict of interest was absolutely there, and we were not notified that when Richard disappeared, when we finally were in the fold, they did not tell us that Richard was a whistleblower. They tried to pin the massive amount of retaliation that was lodged, like Patriot missiles. They shot missiles at him with this retaliation. They tried to blame it on underage drinking, 0.04 BAC. That they're like, we destroyed him because we take underage drinking seriously. It was insanity. We did not believe it. We knew something was stinky. We didn't know what. But then we found out that he was a whistleblower. Not just one whistleblower, but three whistleblowers. CPS, the child pornography that he turned in, the IG being all over the barracks, the CID. So he was whistleblowing even in his video, saying, "I rather burn my money than spend it on whores and blow." He was whistleblowing that that's what was going on in the barracks, that the barracks were flush with weapons, that the barracks were marketplaces for illegal drugs, that they were bringing in. Even Command Sergeant Major Jakovitz told us to our face that they, meaning Major General Clem Coward, brought in girls during COVID. And then we have a source that said they were paying these girls. They were paying the girls to come in. What is going on? And so it's no wonder then when you have a lieutenant colonel pimping out even his wife, involved in prostitution, that it's no wonder, because it's been green flagged all the way through the military. If you have a major general doing it. So, of course, we have information that he lost confidence, along with Lieutenant Colonel Michael Roddick, who was one of them that retaliated against Richard, that he lost confidence. So, what else went on? What else went on? Was Richard designated died while missing, right? Because he was a yellow Interpol. Why is he a yellow Interpol? That means they don't want to find him. We know that for sure. They didn't want to find him. So they just put a yellow Interpol. They try to check off their boxes, all the legal what they're supposed to do, and they made him a yellow Interpol, meaning, where was the deserter designation? Because if he had a deserter designation, he would have been absolutely a red Interpol. Okay, they would have wanted to find him. So this is another big breaking information, not as big as confirmation that a federal judiciary is going to look into the allegations that we have been making. That is huge. We are in the big leagues. And so that means a lot of responsibility are on us. And that we do need to make sure that we go through everything and tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That we honor the innocent until proven guilty. But we urge those that know what happened, that participated in the murder of Richard, in the dissemination of his body, the dismemberment of his body, the you know, the alibis. If you have participated in that way, then we urge you to come forward. Um, that would mean a lot to us. Otherwise, we're advocating for that lethal injection. This is to take a whistleblower, to illegally expose him, to subject him to continuous and severe retaliation so that it escalates into his Jack the Ripper brutal murder, where they dismember him, they cut him asunder, they do other things to him because they want his remains to be unidentifiable and to disseminate his remains to different areas. And then for the leadership to think that they can cover something like this up, to go to the extremes with all these different agencies, 15 plus different agencies, but they forgot the op org. See, they're so messy. They can't do it right. They can't sustain the lies. And it's been very clear that now our voice has been heard, that something is really stinky, something is very vile and vulgar, that Richard, that there's a sinister aspect with this whole thing, and that we cannot have the likes of Vanity Fair Veronica Escobar allowing Jack the Ripper types, these sinister plotters of the destruction of our military soldiers, walking around on the streets. And so if you are involved in it, please come forward because, there may be a plea deal there. And we do have for other people that weren't involved, that know information that will help this, like the cashier that heard from Nidal Baim, the father-in-law of Lieutenant Colonel Bugado in the G3 of the 32nd ADCOM. I don't know why he hasn't come forward. I don't know why Anthony Swafford has not come forward. He should come forward because he knew who that senior leader was, that he heard from their mouth at guard mount, the police, the military police guard mount, the change of shift, where they give the announcement, where they were talking about Richard, and they conducted an groundless smear campaign on Richard to hypnotize, to pull a psychological in silico asymmetric warfare tactic on our military police, on Fort Bliss, so that they would think Richard's character is so bad that he is unworthy of being held innocent until proven guilty, unworthy to be looked for, and that even the family was looked down upon and bullied, disrespected, because they were hypnotized. They had that asymmetric warfare tactic pulled over them, and they thought that Richard's character that was portrayed by the military police senior guard mount spokesman was a reflection of our character. But that wasn't the case at all. And a military police to engage in the sabotage of the search for a missing soldier, actually engage in it. That's what Anthony Swafford did. He tried to persuade volunteers from helping us. And he said the smear came from senior leader on guard mount. Guard mount. So our voice has now been heard, um, and we did get a confirmation that a federal judiciary is looking into our allegations. So I would advise Anthony Swafford to come forward. I would advise uh, uh, Lieutenant Colonel Bugado to come forward. I would advise all of the members of Richard's unit that have been reassigned, that have been spread all over the world, to pay attention, to give us a call, 941 677 0060, and come forward with that information. Because, the whole live stream today is we are in the big leagues now. And so if you are a mom, if you are a mother of a missing, murdered, maligned soldier, please contact us, 941 677 0060. If you are a mother, if you are a father, if you are a family member of a missing, murdered, maligned soldier, now is the time to contact us, 941 677 0060, because we're in the big leagues now. And moms, right? Those that their loved ones have been mistreated, absolutely, and more and worse, have a voice. Have a voice through us. Have a voice in themselves now. And so I just really ask you to contact us. And please share this so that they will contact us. The other information is so little compared to, because of, it's not little. It's not little. We have to have all of our I's dotted, all of our T's crossed. We have to have our charts made, our maps made, our timeline made. And no wonder, from the very beginning I said we're going to write a book. We're going to write a book, because this is what this is. This is writing the whole investigation of Richard. It's a journaling. And so we recommend to anyone that gets into a situation like this, God, no, please, don't let that happen. But they absolutely, from the very beginning, you record everything. Because when you get finally to this point that we are now, I have to get a drink. When you get to this point where we are now, you absolutely need all of that material, all of that knowledge, to make your argument with the judiciary. Because we want to bring Richard's remains home. We want what all those other families that have suffered want. They want to bring their loved ones home. They want justice for what was done to their loved one. And so I'm not at liberty to say more about this, but I just want to say thank you and leave tonight with a happy note that all of our hard work, all of the Donna, all those pecan pies, right? Um, all of the giving, all of the giving, all of the trips to into Mexico, all of the trans. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Team Find Richard Halliday. Thank you, everybody, for putting Richard's name out there. And we just, our work has now just begun, because all of that was to get our voice heard. And now, in order to get justice, in order to bring Richard's remains home, um, we still have to do that. So please continue to share, continue to pray for us, continue to join moms, continue to, I should say, for moms, anyone that's for moms, for families. I probably should have rethought that, but it's super powerful. It's super powerful. Thank you so much, and I will be back tomorrow, God willing. Let me see if anyone has any questions. And thank you, Anicia, for coming on. Thank you so much, Danielle. Two huge supporters in all of this to come late at night like this. Thank you so much. We're very grateful. And thank you. Thank you. We love you. We love you so much. And please keep sharing. Please keep praying for us. And I think we had a good day. We had a very good day. Okay, everyone.